Let's do a quick get ready with me. I'm gonna start with this Peace Out Instant Pore Perfector. I'm just trying a sample. I don't know if I like it yet. It has an odd color to it, but you can't see any brownness once it's rubbed all the way in. Next, I'm gonna go in with my very favorite tinted moisturizer skin tint oil called Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint. I love this stuff. It is thicker and creamier and oilier. I know a lot of people think they won't like it because of that. However, I find it's actually perfect for rubbing more into the skin and not feeling like it sits on top, I guess, because it has those moisturizing, creamy, oilier textures that are natural for skin texture. This is the shade Medium. It's so important to wear sunscreen every day. So whether you do a tinted one or a clear one, white clear, super, super important to do it every single day. And if you have to do it every day, at least my thought process, may as well do a tinted one. A lot of people really like this Ilia one. Mine is in the shade Morgat. I have to be honest, I don't love it. I like it, but I don't love it. It's not my favorite. The Milk is my favorite. There's a few other ones that are good on coverage. This one's very light and thin, so opposite of the Milk. I sort of feel like it's stickier because of that, and it sort of sits on top. I'm still using it up, but it definitely doesn't give as much coverage as the Milk. That's the other reason I like the Milk. It's almost sticky, so I feel like it causes things to stick to my face. That's why I usually only kind of put it on my under eye. And then, like today, I want to do a touch more makeup on top of this. So I'm going to do a touch of concealer. Maracuja Creaseless Concealer. Not a new one. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Super thick and creamy. Super good if you're not going to use powder, which I'm not today. Partially because of time, but partially because I'm not looking for a full glam look today. I want to do something easy. If you guys ever have questions on technique or anything, please let me know. I love questions. So like I said before, I am not doing a ton of makeup, a full makeup look. However, I am going to put a little more coverage on and cover up some of this unevenness. So for spot concealing, I'm using my Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I love this stuff. It's great. Just dotting that where I need it. And then for a sheer foundation to blend it all together, if I even need it, I'll go in with my Giorgio Armani. I may not even need it. This Born This Way stuff is great. I'm not obsessed with the foundation, but that concealer, it has a good amount of product in it. Been using mine for a couple years now, and it gives great coverage without looking, all the things that people don't love. The Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, it is highly, highly creamy and shiny. It gives a ton of coverage, so that's awesome. But if you're wanting a lightweight concealer, this is not it. You can see that shine. It's super shiny. But this is super hydrating too. So don't write off the hydrating and creamy and thick and oily things just because of things you've heard. If you try them, they may work better for you than you think, especially if you have drier skin. If you think you're oily, I recommend playing with oils a little bit more in your life and seeing if your skin starts to get used to it and naturally stops producing so much oil. That has a tendency to happen if you think you're super oily. You stop using so many drying, thin, lightweight, oil-free products on your face, stop stripping that oil, and then your natural oiliness, natural oil production will dial back a little bit. Just watch it happen. It's life-changing. I don't even feel like I need this. If I was really doing full glam makeup, I would use it. I am pretty happy with the amount of coverage I have, and it's light enough. It's not too thick looking. So I'm not going to use this, but I would Giorgio Armani or another really light foundation if you wanted that extra amount of coverage. If you wanted to do less steps, but you wanted a pretty full coverage and sunscreen, I recommend, it's pricier, but the Dior Forever foundation. It's got everything you could need. It's got full coverage, and it's medium to full coverage, and it's got a high amount of sunscreen, SPF 35. You always want to go with 30. Less is not great. At least have something, but you probably want 30 minimum. More doesn't really matter as long as it's 30. Ilia is 40, and the Sunshine Tint, I believe, is 30. Yeah, SPF 30. So all good options. Next, I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. I'm going to start with my Fenty and do just a really baby wing, and we'll see how it turns out. Every day is different, you know what I mean? So for this, I like to get below where the folds of my hooded eyes are, so below the crease, below the folds, so that it's not impacting it too much when I'm looking up. And I got the framework with this one, then I just want to go in with some other ones and clean it up, make it a little bit sharper. This is a bristle tip. I'm going back in with my concealer. Not my concealer, but the sponge I used, where I slightly touched my eye. And last but not least, I'm gonna just take my super sharp liner and create a little bit more sharpness. I don't know if you saw that. I just popped on a small amount of mascara. My light is dying. That may go out. I don't do too fancy brows for every day. I literally just color in the tails and then brush it through. That's how I like my brows. If you like the fluffy laminated brow look, sometimes I enjoy it, but I feel for most looks, I feel like it looks a little too much, too fluffy, especially because I have thicker brows. If you have really thin brows, then it is very beneficial. I love my, oh, my light went out. I love my Charlotte Tilbury, what is this called? It's a really sheer, not really a foundation. It's almost like a primer or a super, super subtle highlighter. So a kind of a glowy primer or sheer natural highlight. I really like this particular product as a highlighter that I mix in with my blush. Tones down the blush a tad bit and just gives me a really soft, subtle highlight. And I just blend this all together. This is how I like to do my blush if I'm doing a good amount of blush. If I'm doing really easy, I'll literally just pop on one stick and then blend and be done. I like to touch my nose. I do blend my blush up and do a draping blush. I do it every day. I love how it frames my face doing it that way. Fenty Gloss Bomb, I think it's just the original color, I'm not sure what different colors they have, is the bomb. I would not normally wear this every single day. I don't even do lip gloss normally, but just wanting to finish off the look. There you have it. Simple everyday look for me. This is what I do.